Hey everybody, welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy for the PlayStation. I am Drak. Let's get to it, shall we? Last time, we began our lengthy quest in order to begin the Mirage Tower, which we are currently at. It is now time to heal the Wind Crystal. Free it, liberate it, whatever you want to call it. I'm going with heal it. But yes, that's what we are doing. We came back from the town of Luthenia, which gave us the bell that could help us, I think it was enter the Mirage Tower, or help us enter the Mirage Tower. And we also went into the Waterfall Cave to get the Warp Cube, which will come in later in the Mirage Tower, because the Mirage Tower is not where the Wind Crystal is. Spoiler alert. And right now I'm just running from everything because this is a big dungeon, so I might as well just take my time. If I've got to stop here and there to get items, which I will, because some of the final weapons are in here, then that's going to be kind of the crux of everything we do here, and I don't want that to take forever. Oh, but look, we have vampires, and they're not bosses anymore. Kind of makes that one vampire we had to fight in the Terror Cavern worthless, doesn't it? I knew of a couple of people when we played through this game. We were just like, really? This was supposed to be a boss and now he's just a regular dude? Oh, look, we got the Vorpal Sword. Sorry, guys, this isn't Wonderland. The Vorpal Sword is actually not a good weapon, at least for my knight. I think with the Vorpal Sword, if you had the ninja, the upgraded thief, then that might be something he could use, since he will be able to dual-wield weapons. That's actually interesting. I did get a question basically asking me, okay, why did you not go with like a ninja? Why did you not go with a red mage? Because then you could have had versatility. I like this party makeup. I like the monk because once he becomes master, he really is the ultimate in damage dealing. The ninja is too if you play him right, but this is one of those few times where you can actually make the claim that there was a monk in the game. And if you get into the later games, ninjas make it in a lot. I'm trying to think here. So Final Fantasy II is not really a good argument, but in the series itself, either if it's and you'll see this when we get to, I think, starting in the third installment, when we start getting into a job class system, usually ninja will always be a class. And on top of that, if they aren't a job class system, there will be a character who is a ninja in some way. It just is a given. I think the only exceptions that can be made there, and I don't even think they count. Well, two, because there really isn't a ninja to my knowledge. Maybe Final Fantasy VIII? I have to think about that one. But there will always be some kind of a ninja, so the fact that we don't get too many monks, too many brawlers, that's something I wanted to mess around with too. So I'm sorry if I offended people that I didn't pick a ninja. It was just my pick. Alright, so I think this is the second floor. Mirage Tower actually isn't that long. It's the next dungeon after the Mirage Tower that's really takes up most of the length here. The only reason this looks long is because they made it awkward to get around, and that's 50-50 on whether or not that was a good idea, but I mean, I get it, you can't make it a straight line, but when they do like this spiral, like you're seeing right now, I kind of cringe, because you can either do it right or you can do it wrong, and this is somewhere in the middle, because it's a little too lengthy, but it's not horrible. Right now, I am not having much luck when it comes to random encounters. I don't know why, but just in the later part of the game, I got bad luck. I don't know why. Okay, so here's our little opening. We are going to make a quick stop to go check out some weapons and armor that are on this floor. Including, I believe this is the floor where we can get Yuna's final weapon, and I think even Vivi's. We're just hoping that we don't get a... Yep, this is the room. Of course, the enemy strikes first. Because random encounters. Serious game, man. Okay, so here are the chests. We got a bunch of gil, we got more gil. We got Thor's hammer, which is the final weapon that we will ever get for our little white wizard. It's really good. It's not like we need to worry too much about using it. More gil, a cottage, a sunblade, and that will be used by our friendly little Barts. And I think the dragon mail too. Let's find out. Let's see the sunblade. It drops the accuracy a little bit, but it will increase the attack. And I don't put on the dragon mail right away. I don't know why. Must have slipped on. Alright, now while we're making our way up through the Mirage Tower, I actually did have a question for people who view this. Since we are getting close to holiday season, just to give a frame of reference, the PS4 has come out at this point, but now we're waiting till next weekend when I believe the Xbox One comes out. I would actually like to know from the people who watch this, how many people got the new consoles? How many got a PS4? How many got an Xbox One? Tell me why. Mainly because I just kind of wonder if I'm not gonna say that they're gonna fail, but I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do badly, according to Sony and Microsoft's numbers. Simply because there really isn't much of a game library. Really, I think Sony and Microsoft are betting too much on us buying them based solely off of, oh, cool, snazzy new tech. You know, Apple fever, I think, is kind of worn out. People don't want to buy the latest Apple products right off the bat unless you're a die-hard Apple fan. And I think Sony and Microsoft were hoping that that would still be there. Since, I mean, heaven forbid you had to wait like 4 or 5 years for a new console. Or maybe even 6 at this point. But I have a feeling it's going to kind of bounce back at them, and they're going to realize, oh, maybe we shouldn't have set our numbers so high. Oh, well. But in the meantime, we're actually at the end of the Mirage Tower. This will teleport us up to the second half, which is the Sky Fortress. Or Flying Fortress. I like Sky Fortress. That's me. And so now we are in the area where the wind crystal resides. How appropriate, it's in the air. Makes sense, right? And with the change in area comes change in enemies. They're going to be a little harder. People might have noticed that the Mirage Tower wasn't that bad when it came to the enemies. Now we're going to actually see legitimate enemies from the wind crystal. Not from it, but guarding it. You get what I mean. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. I would just like to know if you guys went out and bought a PS4, what games you bought for it. Do you like it thus far? Do you hate it? If you bought an Xbox One, again, what games did you buy? Are you liking it? Are you hating it? My plans, initially, I've said them, I don't think I'm going to say them again. I'm getting a Wii U. Just because there's more games. That's all I'm saying. If you want to hear more on that, I think I've explained this like 4 or 5 times. So, that's my plan. I have actually considered getting a Vita before the PS4, just because there's functionality between them. But I have a feeling that somewhere down the line, since the Vita is supposed to be integrated, that something's going to come down the line like a bundle which includes the Vita. And yes, it will be expensive as heck, but people will look at that and go, well, I don't have a Vita and I want to try this out, so I don't want to buy them separate. That might not be in Sony's best interest right away, but I have a feeling something will happen there. Like a big price reduction for the Vita, and it comes with the console. Which would be awesome. That's one of those things where I would really like to test that. Because that's one of the things that has me excited about the Wii U, is the functionality on the Wii U gamepad. And I would like to see if the Vita does it better or worse. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't gotten something related to that, at least in my observation. A Windows Phone, yeah, that's all well and good. Okay, time out really quick. So we are actually cruising through the Flying Fortress really fast, and we got a rare item that will help us for the final dungeon. It is adamantite. You will see what we need that for later, but it is a rare metal. And it will help us with crafting some of the final weapons for the next and final dungeon. Yeah, final dungeons after this. But yeah, like I was saying, I would really like to see the functionality of those two. Plus, I get that the Xbox One is going to be able to integrate with a Windows Phone and things like that, but it really would be cool if they just announced like a specific controller that was kind of like that. Like the Vita or like the Wii U gamepad. Because I don't see that functionality, like being able to play your game while somebody watches TV, I don't see that happening for the Xbox One. Owie. Full 100 HP. Crap. Or if there is one, please let me know. I would love to get that information. Like if it can integrate with your Surface. Okay, cool. I'll try that out. I've got a Surface. I don't have a Windows Phone, so that doesn't work for me. Literally one step, and I got attacked again. It gets bad in the later half of this game. Oh, looky. Your gaze didn't work. It didn't turn me to stone. If it did, I would have been mad at you. Okay, we're actually near the end of the Flying Fortress. So I know that I said this was longer. What I meant was, it has more floors. Ultimately, I knew where I was going, and a lot of the items in the Flying Fortress weren't as good as in Mirage Tower. And this is the final floor, so we get to make our glorious walk up to the Wind Fiend. And get interrupted by octopus people and golems. Sorry, golems, we do not have star rubies for you to eat. Oh, there we are. Okay, heal up! We're playing this smart. Even though, given our 4-fiend record, he probably won't be that bad. Deep breath, relax. We'll kick his butt in like 2 minutes. Well done, humans. You have defeated all but one fiend, Tiamat of Wind. Your luck ends here, however. The sky shall be your tomb. And here is Tiamat. This is actually my favorite of the 4 fiends and how he looks. And that's saying something because I'm a big dragon nut, and I usually don't like multiple-headed dragons. Tiamat works for me. So, he is by far the hardest of the 4 fiends, but he won't give too much of a challenge because I have the horribly broken Yang. Right now we're just buffing up the party, making sure that we can do as much damage as possible. Good for you, Barts. This would have been a cool ability to have as a Black Mage. Now we start getting into bosses that have unique properties. We'll start seeing more of this as we go into the final dungeon as well. They'll have their own unique based abilities like Thunderbolt. Yay! Holy. I'm trying to think, is this the first time we've been able to do Holy on here? No, never mind. We did it, I think, last part. A whole 100 HP. That was totally worth it. But we're going for it again! And I think we're just going to go with Steel for Bards. See if we can get more damage coming from him. Wow, we went from 40 to 70. Another 800, and Tiamat's down! Thank you, Yang. You're horribly broken, but we love you. And quite a bit of XP there. Not as much as I was hoping. Alright, and here is the Wind Crystal, so now we got to go do our little victory dance. The crystal's light is shining! We are so great. We are so great. We're the warriors of light. We're the warriors of light. Okay, now all 4 crystals have been freed, but if people remember from the Mystic Quest LP, that's not it. Now we have to go figure out what caused the crystals to become corrupted and fix the problem before it happens again. So that's what we're going to be doing, is we're going to be going back to the Temple of Chaos. Believe it or not. That's where this all started. That's where this is all going to end. And before we do that, we will have to do a little bit of grinding levels, but thankfully, that's off camera. We also need to get the final weapon for Bart's, at least until we get in there. The reason I say that is there is another weapon in the Temple of Chaos, and again, if you have a ninja, you can just simply hand Bart's weapon he gets before Temple of Chaos over to him and give Bart's the better sword. But as people might have noticed, if you don't know where we are, we're actually back at the Dwarven Cave. Why? If people remember from an earlier part, we talked to a certain smithy. Oh, we're giving him the adamantite. Why, this is adamantite! What did you... This is marvelous! I shall forge you a sword! There! Why, this is the most magnificent sword that I've ever forged! Working with adamantite has been a dream to me. This beauty is all yours. And out of the stone came the mighty Excalibur. So now that we have Excalibur, we can give this to Bart's. And it is a great improvement to his attack and accuracy. So now we kind of have what we need in order to go to the Temple of Chaos. We do a little bit of grinding off camera and go right there. But in the meantime, we're enjoying the nice salty air from the sea. Okay, you can do something now. Okay, there we go. Man, I'm such ADD sometimes. Okay, there's Cornelia. So now we go up to the Temple of Chaos. It started here. The game will end here. And this is actually the point where I do cut off to do a little bit of grinding, just to make sure I am prepared for the Temple of Chaos, because it is a long haul, and it is a pain in the butt if you don't do it right. And right as I'm going in, that's when I get the random encounter. Never mind the fact that they don't stand a chance against me now. Now, people might be asking, well, but the Temple of Chaos is one room, so how can you go farther? Very simple. We have our freed crystals, which can open the path. They were laid over the black crystal. The tide of time advances to engulf all, and the dimensions begin to twist. Just one step further, and you will travel 2,000 years back in time. But wait, why do we need to go back in time? This is where the game gets kind of funky with its storytelling. Okay, so now the way is open for us to go 2,000 years back in time to the Temple of Chaos 2,000 years ago. Final dungeon, ahoy. And right as I walk in, Jiminy Christmas. How appropriate, because we're getting close to the holiday season. And I think this is actually one of those enemies you can't run away from in the Temple of Chaos, and that bothers me. And there's Excalibur, if you guys wanted to see what it looked like. It has got a really cool weapon sprite. Of course. 3 white dragons. You're starting to see that we have enemies that were originally bosses. They are now just regular monsters within this area. That's usually what happens in these final dungeons. I think I explained that also in Mystic Quest, because you had variations of the 4 fiends that you had to fight in that game, plus other bosses were starting to become regulars. Oh, Dark Wizards. I never like it when I see Dark Wizards on the screen. Because they have all the spells, and for some reason they do way more damage than I do. It bites! So I'm playing it safe. Just buffing myself up so I can take them out, because I don't think I'll be able to run from them. Do I go with Flare? Kinda want to save it. Yeah, we'll go with Steel and get Bart's hitting harder. No, we don't really need to worry about Bart's. We totally don't need to worry about Yang. That's okay, he's getting buffed anyway. And people might be going, well, why aren't you worried about the Dark? I'm not worried about the Dark Warrior. It's the Dark Wizards that create the problem, because if they get enough turns, they can just sit there and spam all the hard-hitting spells. 1,200! Yes! Yes, Yang, continue to be broken! Well, he is kind of broken, guys. This is an old game. Okay, next floor. Now this is a unique room, because if you don't know what to do, you are stuck from here on in. And of course, this Death Eye is a repeat boss. We don't have to worry about him, because there he goes. Down he goes. I remember my brother getting stuck on this for the longest time. He had to go look up the Nintendo Power Strategy Guide just to see how to solve this. Oh, and now I get the enemy that I don't want, because these guys can easily end a trip. Why? Because the green dragons have an ability called Toxin. If they get it off, it is a pain in the butt to manage. It does a lot of damage, plus puts status ailments on you. Oh, Toxin. Another Toxin. Shield is helping a lot here. Okay, kill this last dragon. Yes! 900! It's over 900! Okay, so, again, I remember my brother getting stuck on this part of it. The stone plate rests on the floor. It seems to emanate an evil force. Here's what you need to do. If people remember from the first part of the game, we got given a loot from Princess of Cornelia. This is actually where you use it. There isn't much of a hint in the game, but this is where you use it. And that opens up the way to go deeper into the Temple of Chaos. But we're going to go ahead and take a break here. So next time, we're going to be going deeper into the Temple of Chaos. We're almost done, but we are going to need an additional 2 parts. So in the meantime, I am Drak, and we'll see you next week for more of Final Fantasy on the PlayStation. See you then.